From the corners of ancient tomes and the whispers of the ancients come stories that were never meant to be heard by mortal ears. Welcome, daring soul, to Chilling Tales by Thangs. Whispers from beyond the stars. In the quaint town of Haven's Rock, nestled beneath an ever-watchful sky, the appearance of strange lights marked the beginning of an eerie odyssey. For weeks, these celestial phenomena danced across the heavens, casting an otherworldly glow over the sleepy town. Then, without warning, came the disappearances. The first to vanish was old Ben Miller, a solitary figure known for his nightly strolls under the starry sky. His return, 3 days later, was as mysterious as his departure. He spoke in a disjointed dialect that was neither of this earth nor entirely incomprehensible. His ramblings, filled with fragmented premonitions of an impending invasion, sent shivers down the spines of the townsfolk. As more residents disappeared and returned with the same distant look and cryptic warnings, panic began to spread through Haven's Rock. Their eyes, once familiar and warm, now held a glimmering void, as if the cosmos itself had claimed a part of their souls. Deputy Ava, a pragmatic woman with a keen sense of duty, refused to dismiss these events as mere coincidences. She meticulously traced the paths of the changed, leading her to a secluded impact site deep in the woods. Amidst the dense foliage lay a smoldering crater, within which pulsated an otherworldly essence. It was here that Ava encountered the unimaginable, alien organisms capable of infiltrating and transforming human bodies. In a twist of fate, Ava found herself exposed to these alien beings. As the entities attempted to assimilate her, she fought with every ounce of her being, clinging to her humanity. She realized that these altered townspeople were nothing but sleeper agents, unwitting pawns in a grand scheme of invasion. With the extraterrestrial intelligence clawing at her mind, Ava's battle was not only physical but psychological. She grappled with hallucinations and intrusive thoughts, each more disturbing than the last. Her grip on reality began to slip, but in this mental maelstrom, she found the key to combating the alien threat. Through sheer willpower and ingenuity, Ava developed a weapon, not of metal and fire, but of sound frequencies and electromagnetic pulses. It was a tool designed to sever the connection between the alien entities and their human hosts. As the night of the impending invasion arrived, Ava activated her weapon. A symphony of haunting frequencies echoed through the woods, reaching every corner of Haven's Rock. One by one, the townspeople were freed from their extraterrestrial shackles, their eyes clearing as the cosmic light within them extinguished. The immediate threat was thwarted, but the victory was bittersweet. Ava, forever changed by the encounter, knew that this was but a brief respite. The entities, now aware of Earth's defenses, would undoubtedly return, perhaps in a form more terrifying than before. And so, under the watchful stars, Haven's Rock braced itself, its fate intertwined with the mysteries of the cosmos. Ava, standing sentinel, remained ever vigilant, her ears tuned to the whispers from beyond the stars, knowing that the next chapter of this cosmic horror was yet to be written. The Harvest of Relaya. Beneath the churning waves of an unforgiving ocean, the deep-sea base Perseus stumbled upon a revelation that would forever alter the course of human understanding. There, shrouded in the eternal darkness of the deep, lay Relaya, an alien metropolis of unimaginable scale and complexity. Its very existence challenged the boundaries of human comprehension. The city's awakening was a calamity in motion. Its inhabitants, the Yith, emerged from their timeless slumber, beings of such grotesque and cyclopean form that to gaze upon them was to flirt with madness. To these ancient entities, humans were nothing more than specimens, curiosities to be collected for their cosmic menagerie. Dr. Ada Ku, a marine biologist with a mind as deep as the ocean she studied, found herself trapped within this sunken nightmare. Surrounded by the remnants of civilizations far beyond Earth's ken, she bore witness to the Yith's abominable experiments, humans subjected to grotesque mutations, their very essence twisted and reshaped. Yet within Adaku burned a defiant spirit. She maneuvered through the eldritch corridors of Rolier, a human wraith amidst alien horrors. Her actions were a thorn in the side of the Yith, sabotaging their unspeakable research, rescuing her mutated kin, and fighting a war of attrition against beings as old as time. The Yith, in their arrogance, sought to plumb the depths of Adaku's mind, to anticipate her every move. But they underestimated her cunning. She became a master of deception, seeding her thoughts with falsehoods, leading her captors on a wild chase through the labyrinth of her own fabricated weaknesses. The culmination of Adaku's resistance was a gambit of epic proportions. She discovered the Yeath's psychic barrier, an invisible fortress that bent the will of the deep's most fearsome creatures. With a combination of science and sheer will, she shattered this barrier, freeing the minds of the ocean's leviathans. One such beast, a creature so vast and ancient that it defied description, answered her unspoken call. It surged towards the breach in Rillia's defenses, its titanic form tearing through the city's architecture, creating a path to salvation. In a harrowing escape, Adaku fled through the crumbling city, pursued by the screeching psychic assaults of the Yeath. In a final act of defiance, she jettisoned the city's garbage, a collection of alien detritus, outside the breach. The Leviathan, drawn by the scent of alien refuse, returned, its massive form causing the city of Rillier to collapse in on itself. Adaku surfaced, the sole survivor of an encounter that would haunt her for the rest of her days. She had outwitted the Yeath, but the victory was a temporary reprieve. The Yeath, having tasted humanity's potential for genetic malleability, would undoubtedly return, their hunger for knowledge as insatiable as the abyss itself. And so the story of Relia and its eldritch harvest remains a whispered warning in the annals of deep-sea exploration. A tale of human ingenuity pitted against the unfathomable desires of beings from beyond the stars. Shadow in the lens. In the quiet solitude of his home observatory, Jai, an amateur astronomer with a passion for the cosmos, peered through his telescope, eager to capture the majestic dance of Jupiter's moons. But fate, it seemed, had a different spectacle in store for him. His camera, aimed at the distant giant, captured not the familiar orbs of Io or Europa, but a fleeting umbral shape, an anomaly that defied explanation. The image was haunting, an undefined curved structure that seemed to exist outside the realm of known celestial bodies. As Jai delved deeper into analyzing the footage, his life began to unravel in the most peculiar ways. Power failures plunged his home into darkness at the most inopportune moments. Phantom phone calls with no one on the other end filled the silence of the night. His keys, his notes, his tools all began to misplace themselves, as if moved by an unseen hand. It was as if the anomaly he had observed was more than a mere shadow in the lens, but a presence that had noticed him in return, a presence that was now toying with him, making its eerie intrusion into his world. One late, starless night, as Jai's obsession reached its zenith, he noticed a shape looming at his window. A dark, distorted silhouette that chilled his blood. Frantically aiming his telescope at the window, he saw it. The thing from beyond Jupiter, the same dark curvature, now terrifyingly closer, looming above him in the night sky. In a moment of cosmic horror, a crash and a blinding light enveloped Jai's observatory. The force of the impact hurled him to the floor, his senses overwhelmed by the deafening roar and searing light. When he finally recovered, the scene before him was one of devastation. His beloved telescope, once his window to the stars, lay melted and twisted. His cameras, his equipment, all lay in ruins, smashed beyond recognition. Scattered around were similar piles of melted debris, a clear message from the intruder. It did not wish to be watched. With a heart heavy with dread, Jai scanned the night sky, his eyes searching for any trace of the entity, but there was nothing, save for a faint, barely perceptible curve, an eclipse of the very stars themselves. The thing had retreated, but the shadow it cast on Jai's life remained. Jai knew then that his discovery was not the end, but a terrifying beginning. The thing beyond Jupiter, whatever it was, had marked him. It had shown its power, its ability to reach into his world. And though it had retreated into the depths of space, Jai understood that this celestial stalker, this shadow in the lens, would likely return, drawn back to him and his unwelcome discovery. As he stood amidst the wreckage of his once cherished observatory, Jai realized that he had peered into a realm beyond human understanding, and in doing so, had opened a door that could not be closed. The thing beyond Jupiter, a mystery wrapped in shadow, awaited in the vast, unfathomable darkness of space. The gap between spaces. The Ito family, seeking a fresh start, moved into an old house whose time-worn walls and creaky floors whispered secrets of a bygone era. But within its confines lurked an unnerving secret, one that would soon unravel the fabric of their reality. Young Kay, curious and imaginative, was the first to notice the peculiarities of their new home. In the narrow spaces between the walls and the floorboards, she spotted fleeting movements. a shadowy presence that seemed to mirror her own actions. Peering into these gaps, Kay was both terrified and fascinated to see a girl, a shadowy twin of herself, mimicking her every move. She named this entity Yui. Yui, existing in a twisted reflection of Kay's world, began to interact more boldly. She left objects for Kay, odd trinkets and toys that seemed to belong to another time and place, each pulled from her mirror world. Their exchanges grew from mere curiosity to a strange friendship. Until one day, Yui invited Kay to step into her world. Kay's parents, alarmed by their daughter's tales and sudden disappearance, followed her into the gap. The world they stumbled into was a distorted echo of their own, familiar, yet imbued with a sense of wrongness that chilled them to the bone. In this gap world, the air was thick with a sense of foreboding. The house, a perfect inversion of their own, was fraught with subtle abnormalities. Colors were dimmer, sounds were muffled, and the angles of the rooms seemed slightly askew, as if defying the laws of physics. The entities that dwelled within this space were shadows of the real world, emerging from hidden corners with unsettling cries and appendages that twisted and contorted in impossible ways. Yui, once a playful mimic of Kay, was now a flickering apparition, her form shimmering between solidity and smoke. The Ito family's attempts to escape this mirrored labyrinth only led them in circles, each exit bringing them back to the heart of this sinister doppelganger world. Panic set in as they confronted the harrowing truth. They were trapped in a domain that existed in the gap between reality and nightmare, a space consumed by an insatiable darkness. As days melded into an endless loop of despair, the Itos realized that Yui and her kin were not just inhabitants of this gap world, but embodiments of the house's forgotten memories and hidden fears. The family found themselves ensnared in a haunting cycle, their presence feeding the hungry shadows that lurked in the unseen spaces. The gap between spaces, once a mere curiosity, had become a prison, a realm where reality was twisted and time lost its meaning. The Ito family, bound to the shadowy echo of their home, faced the daunting task of unraveling the mysteries of this world, seeking a path back to the reality they once knew, or risk being consumed by the darkness that dwelled within the gaps.